Welcome back to the podcast where we ask the question, what makes you happy? Our guest today raises people's positivity to make them smile with a great sense of humor and helps them cultivate more gratitude in their life. Today we have with us Brandi Van from Philadelphia, United States. It is a pleasure to have you with us, Brandi.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it.
And Brandi, thank you so much for coming on the podcast to give us your time and share all things that do make you happy. Brandi, would you mind starting with that? What does make you happy?
Sure. So I think the biggest thing that makes me happy, and I hope it doesn't sound too cheesy, but it's all of the love that's in our lives. So I feel like with all the relationships that we have, you have different relationships, right? Like I have my husband, I have my dogs, I have my parents, my sister, my niece. Then I also have my friends, and they all bring something special to your life. And it's not something tangible. It's something that you can just feel, and you have that love. But not only the love that they give, but also the love that I have for myself. So I think that self-love is also a very big thing. When you can trust yourself, rely on your instincts and your intuition, I really feel like that can just so grow your happiness as well.
And so when did you sort of tap into that part of your life that you knew that was where your happiness was kind of coming from?
I think it's always been there, but I would say in the last few years, because I am a spiritual medium, and once I opened up my spiritual journey, I really realized without people's support, you really wouldn't be able to get very far in this world. I feel like if you feel like you're alone, then you just can't go for your dream, and you can't be like that person that you want to be. And also in this journey, I've realized that no one else is like me in this whole world, and no one else is like you. And if you can think in terms of that, there's billions of people in this world, but no one has our same exact values, our same exact goals. And so just like they say, snowflakes, every snowflake's different. Every human is different. So I think that's a great thing to be happy about, and to really accept yourself for who you are on this planet and what you're meant to do here. So that also brings me a lot of happiness.
That was honestly beautifully said. And it's one of those things that you could think about, like how big's the universe, how deep's the ocean, how unique is every human. How long has that been your awareness, I guess, in your life? How long have you been in tune with this spiritual connection of yours?
I would say about the last 5 years, definitely during the pandemic, whenever, there's nobody around and you really miss your family and you can't see anyone. And that really got me to look inward, to look at my intuition, and really got me on this journey of, hey, nobody else is like me. And along with that, I feel like some people don't have acceptance in terms of we all make mistakes, but even that can be turned into something happy. I know I'm so happy that everyone makes mistakes. So if I make a mistake, so is everybody else. We're all human. We're all going to make mistakes, and I can forgive myself, grow from that, and learn, versus being down on myself or being unhappy about it. You just have to change your perspective on how you look at things.
When one is to look inward and they're afraid of touching on something that they might not usually want to bring up, how do you suggest someone does that? Where do they start? What questions can they ask themselves that are gentle enough to provoke changing their thinking pattern?
So the biggest advice I would give is for someone to look at instead of saying, why did this happen to me? Change your perspective to, what did this teach me? And whenever you look through that, everyone suffers. Everyone's going to go through those hardships. And it might be hard, and it is hard during that time, but when you can come out of it and say, how did this make me stronger? How did this make me grow? And how did it make me into the person I am today? I feel like if you have that acceptance and you look at it in a different way, you can start to be like, I wouldn't be here or there if that didn't happen. So there's always that. And also, and I'm not a religious person, but also if you have faith that this happened to me for a reason, and maybe I don't even know the reason right now, but maybe I'll know it in my future. So it's really looking at that pattern of what happened, how did that make me grow, and then even in the future, how did that make me grow from here? So there's always a way to look back at that pattern of how it made you grow.
Yeah, beautifully said. Brandi, I think we'll wrap it up there after your wonderful comments and a very, very awesome sort of analogy then too. Where can our listeners connect with you just to learn more about your work?
Sure, so they can go to brandivan.com. That's Brandi with an I.
Impossible to forget. Just if you do, look at the title of this episode and you'll find that there in the description as well. Brandi, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk all things that make you happy and what you think our listeners could do to hit some high runs in their life. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. We hope it gives you something to think about on your quest to discover what makes you happy. Make sure to check out whatmakesyouhappypodcast.com to connect with today's guest and follow us on all our social media platforms and to stay up to date at what's happening next at What Makes You Happy. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend, and we'll see you next time.